Hey, good people. It's your girl Jessica. I'm back for another week of videos, and I'm super excited just to come back on and really to talk about anything. I feel like I've been gone for a long time, and maybe I haven't. I think I did a video last week, but I don't know, it doesn't seem like it. I guess because that video wasn't expected, I just wanted to come on that day and just tell you guys about some things that have been going on, and really just to share the good news and inspire and motivate somebody else. So enough about that. Let's get to this week's topic. In this week's topic, we're talking about questions. Ladies, we gotta start asking more questions in the beginning whenever we're dating someone. We gotta start asking more questions so that we don't waste our own time. And for no other reason, for that reason. Because I can even say for myself, in a lot of my past situations, I would date somebody and I either would ask questions, but it wouldn't be the right questions, or I wouldn't ask them at all, or I would ask them way too late. Ladies, we gotta start asking more questions, and here's why. Whenever we ask questions in the very beginning, so not later, but in the very beginning when we're dating, we're able to really analyze that person's motives. You know, what part are they trying to play in my life? And when we do that, when we ask those questions, we avoid wasting our own time. Just recently, I was in the grocery store, and to be honest with you, I was looking kind of a hot mess. But I'm in there, I'm trying to run in there, grab some stuff to make dinner, and somebody stops me, starts talking to me, you know, and engage in a conversation. At this point, I know he's interested. I'll be honest, he didn't really pique my interest per se, but I was willing to be open and optimistic about the situation. So I give him my information. He hits me up as soon as he gets home. And at that point, yes, I could have waited until the first date. And in most cases, you know, I think you should at least give the person an opportunity to go on a date with them. But we were texting back and forth. You know, he's asking questions about me. I'm asking questions about him. And I could have waited, but I went right in and I just asked him, you know, do you have kids? And that's a big question for me because obviously a lot of you that know me know that I don't have kids. So with that being said, I asked him if he had kids, and he said he had 4. Yeah, that's not gonna work for me. Like, that's awesome. I'm glad that, you know, you had 4 kids, and not that you just had 4 kids, you know, randomly here and there with different women. All of his kids were by his ex-wife, but that's a little too much for me. I want to be able to raise a family of my own one day. So he pretty much already had a family. So anyway, enough about that. But I say that to say, I think it's important to ask those questions in the beginning because you don't waste each other's time. Now, we could have talked on the phone for a week or two before I actually got into a lot of those more serious questions, only to find out that what we're looking for really aren't in alignment. So I was able to cut that situation short and keep it moving. So I say all of that to say it's important to have those questions kind of laid out in the very beginning. Now, a lot of women, and I even myself in the past, I used to be like this, you know, where you don't want to ask certain questions. You don't want to ask serious questions, you know, what we call serious questions in the very beginning because you're afraid of running him off, or him thinking that, you know, you're doing too much, or you know, you too extra or whatever. It seems like we like pre-qualify men. You know how you get those little cards in the mail, or vouchers or whatnot for lending companies, or even for like a car, you know, you pre-qualify for, you know, this amount of money for a car. I feel like that's what we do with men. We pre-qualify them without really even seeing what they're about, or if they're even bringing enough to the table. Now, granted, I know that a man is supposed to find a woman, you know, biblically or whatever, but at the same time, you need to make sure that he's even worth your time before you like really start investing into the situation as well. But we just don't ask enough questions. And if we do ask questions, we don't ask them early enough. You know, it's months down the line before it's like, oh my God, I just realized he's got 5 kids. Those things you should have asked beforehand. And you know, I'm not saying this to like judge anybody or to seem like a relationship guru or whatever anybody wants to think. All of this stuff is just stuff that I've learned through experience, and also through talking to other people that are much older and much wiser than myself. But we just don't ask enough questions like we should in the beginning. We pre-qualify them, and then we're waiting around for a ring, and it's like, he may not even be worth walking down the aisle or agreeing and committing to spending the rest of our lives with him. You know, do you know his background? Do you know how he is when he's upset? Do you even know if he's looking for a relationship? I know women who are afraid to ask a man whether or not he's looking for a relationship. That's not. That may seem like a serious question, but that's really not. If a man is supposed to be leading and you're going along, you're following along with whatever he has going on, you're allowing him to lead, where we going? Like, you haven't asked any questions. I don't even know where we going. I'm just along for the ride. No, your life is just as important as his life is. So ask those questions. You need to ask those serious questions in the beginning. Do you want kids? Do you have kids? How many kids do you have? How many baby mamas do you have? Those are the important questions that need to be asked. I'm not too particular about, how much you make and credit score and all of that. No, don't get me wrong. Credit score and all those things are important to talk about. I think a little bit later, then that's just my personal opinion. Again, I am not a life coach or a relationship coach or any of that. But I definitely think those questions need to be talked about. But I wouldn't say in the first few dates. But these are questions that you need to ask, like, second date. All of this, kids, what are your views on marriage? What's your religion, or what religion did you grow up in? Are you God-fearing? Do you have a relationship with God? Like, all of those major things, if those things are important to you, don't wait until months and months down the line to make sure that he understands, your standpoint on important things, important views. And like myself, I think a lot of women are afraid of, pushing somebody away, asking those serious questions too early. I'll be honest, I really don't think there's a such thing as early. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. I mean, if you just got the guy's number at the mall and he comes back and calls you, I don't know. I guess it depends on how the phone conversation is going. But for me, first few dates, I want to know all those serious things. I want to know about kids. I want to know about marriage. I want to know, I want to know all those important things that you should be asking in the very beginning. I want to know what your relationship is like with God. All of those things are important to me, so it's important that I ask you that right off and just make sure that we're in alignment with each other. And while I'm on the subject, I'm not saying just ask questions and bam, there you go, because some people are really good at faking the funk. So just because you ask those important questions, that don't necessarily mean you're going to get the truth. I think it's important, if you're dating towards purpose, you're dating with intent, with the intent to eventually get married. If you are, I think that you should ask those questions in the beginning, and not only ask those questions and really see, what this person has to say, what their views really are on a lot of those serious topics, but also sit back, like actually put in the effort to sit back, evaluate, watch them, observe them, and make sure that their actions are in alignment with their words. Because a lot of times people just feed you some good game. I done been got by the best of them. So I know that they're out there. Some of them are waiting on the questions, and they're ready to pop off some good answers, but make sure that his actions are aligning with that. And real quick, I just kind of wanted to throw this in here just because I thought about it. I can remember always feeling nervous when I brought somebody home, not necessarily me, my mom, but to me, my grandmother, because she would grill them. It'd be all these questions, and I would be so afraid that he's going to say the wrong thing, or he's going to stutter or not answer the question fast enough. But it wasn't until I grew up that I understood the idea behind that. If you're asking questions, it shouldn't be about being up on your feet and being ready for the questions. It should be your motives are pure, your intentions are good. And because of that, you don't have to try to come up with a good answer. You don't have to be quick on your feet. You're answering the questions genuinely because you know what your motives are. Your motives are good. But a man whose motives are not good, who has no good intentions for you, of course, he's going to either A, be prepared, or he's not going to be prepared for the questions. And when you ask, he's going to be stuttering all over the place. And if you know my grandmother, let's just say she's not easily swindled. And that just goes back to family or friends in general. They are not in a situation, so they're always going to be able to catch different things and see different things that maybe you aren't able to see because, you all googly-eyed or whatever. But yeah, don't worry about running him off, because of questions, simple questions about, your goals, what you're doing with your life, what intentions you have for me, what position you expect to play in my life. If a man is ran off by those questions, he probably needs to be ran off in the first place. If he's getting all uptight about you asking those type of things about him, my question is, why is he dating? And for two, that just lets me know that you really ain't about anything. And I pretty much need to let you keep it moving now so that I don't waste my time or get my heart and my feelings involved. So that was actually just something I was thinking about the other day. So I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about it. Because, you know, I always bring my thoughts back to you guys and just share with you. But anyway, I've rambled enough. So I'm going to close this out for right now. But if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Click that like button at the bottom of the screen. And share my videos, please. Share my videos with other women. You know, what I'm doing right now, this is not just to jump on a bandwagon with a lot of stuff that other people are doing. This is something genuine that came to me. I want to be able to give back. I feel like there's a lot of young women out here, and some even older, that have just been so used to being done a certain way, and they don't know or recognize their worth, and because of that, men trample all over them. And if I could just help one person make better decisions, if I could help one person you know, kind of rise up and stop allowing, you know, whoever they're with to mistreat them or take them for granted, then I've accomplished something. My interest is really just to help people and to be honest, help women in general. Help us rise up to see our worth. And I want to reach as many women as I possibly can. So please share my videos. But that's it for me today. I am out of here. You guys be blessed until next time.